Valvoline is the only motor oil brand with a dedicated engine lab. And here, we test everything. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Brother Nehemiah, coming to you with a Shabbat class. Just getting everything together, playing a little praise music. All praises to the Most High God of Israel. Shabbat Shalom to all my family. It's Brother Nehemiah coming to you from the Israelite Ministries. We finally settled on the name, the Israelite Ministries. It sounds better. So I just want to say I love my people. I love my God. I love doing the work of the Most High God. And I hope that all the other Israelites have joy in doing that also, because that's our purpose here on the planet. Now, the class that I'm doing today is the day of thy birth, because our people don't understand about birthdays. They don't understand about the pagan part of it. It's not bad that you was born. It's bad that you do pagan celebrations. That's what the problem is. Our people want to do the pagan celebrations that we was taught in this world. The Most High didn't tell us to do none of that. So we're going to go through some scriptures. Hold on 1 second. All right. I'm sweating like a Hebrew slave doing this class outside. So let's start off with Jeremiah. Oh, and for anybody who want to see the visual, want to see the scriptures, we're on the YouTube, Israelite Ministries, where I'm putting the scriptures up and other information other than my ugly face. So, like I said, the name of the class is The Day of Thy Birth. Let's start off with Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5 through 9. Because we got to understand, it's not a bad thing that we was born, but we got to understand that during the pagan celebrations and birthday cakes and all that, we're not ordained to do that. That's not of the Most High. So Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou comest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. So this is what the Most High said to Jeremiah. This is what he's saying to us also, the ones that are out here doing this work. Let me read that again. I'm going to start from verse 4. Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, before he formed thee in the belly, and before thou comest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. So people don't understand that the things that we do here, we were already ordained to do before we even was formed in the womb by the Most High. So that's why brothers feel like they had a purpose already, that they special, because you were ordained from the womb before he formed you in the belly. Verse 6. Then said I, Lord God, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But the Lord said unto me, say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak. Be not afraid of their faces, for I am thee to deliver thee, saith the Lord. Then the Lord put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And the Lord said unto me, behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. So the Most High is the one that's dealing with us, man. He been dealing with us before we was even formed in the womb. And we got to understand that you do not have free will. You were already ordained to do something, whether it was good or whether it's evil. And let's get that. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 58, verse 3. Shalom, shalom, Mox. Shabbat shalom. Y'all gonna have to bear with me today. It's hot out here. I thought it was gonna be a little cooler. So the Psalm chapter 58, verse 3 and 4. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. So if you wicked, man, you was wicked from the womb. From the womb. If you're gonna be a worker of the Most High God, you're gonna be that from the. He already ordained you to do that from the womb. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which would not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. So everything is already ordained from the time before we even get here. We just playing our parts out while we here. So it's not the problem of being born. It's the problem of doing pagan rituals and celebrations. So let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 1. It's in the Apocrypha. Let's see how we come into this place. For anybody who didn't know, it's only one way to come into this planet, into this earth, man. It's only one way. That's by birth. So if you got that, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 1, we're going to read through 6. This is your entrance into the world. I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, that's 40 weeks, being compacted in blood of the seed of man. And the pleasure that came with sleep. The pleasure that came with sleep is sex. And I was born. And when I was born, I drew in the common air and fell upon the earth, which is of like nature. And the first voice which I uttered was crying, as all others. This is King Solomon. I was nursed and swaddled in clothes, and that with cares. For there is no king that had any other beginning of birth. For all men have one entrance into life, and the light going out as death. Wherefore I prayed, and understanding was given me. I called upon God, and the spirit of wisdom came to me. The spirit of wisdom is what we chasing here while we here on this planet. It's not flesh, it's the spirit of wisdom. That's what we're trying to build up. If you're not working on your spirit, then your spirit is dead. That's the whole thing about Ezekiel in the valley of the dry bones. We gotta wake our spirit up. We gotta come back to life. So we're here on this earth to get back right with the Most High God. That's why we're here trapped in this flesh. So while we're here, we got to get our spirits back right with the Most High God. So there's only one way into this world. That's through birth. That's how Christ got here. That's how you got here. That's how I got here. It says no other entrance into life for all men. So we got to have birth. We got to have birth to regenerate our people, our races, our population, regenerate the earth. So it's not a bad thing of birth. Birth is a reward for life. We're going to get that. The book of Psalms, chapter 127. Let's go to Psalms, chapter 127, verse 3. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Excuse my sweat. It's kind of warm out here. Shabbat shalom. The book of Psalms, chapter 127, and verse 3. Lo, children are an inheritance of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. So we are the inheritance. Our children are the inheritance. That's how we keep ourselves going. That's how we regenerate. That's how we keep our families going. So the fruit of the womb is the child. That's the reward, having that child. That's why we be so happy when we have our own seed, when we bring our own seed into the world. Let me get something else on that. I wasn't even planning on, but me and one of the brothers was talking about this. Let's go to Sirach, chapter 26. If you didn't know this was in the Apocrypha, I'm going to give it to you right now. Sirach, which is Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26. It's going to talk about race. And verse 20 and 21. If anybody didn't know, in your Apocrypha, when anybody say that race isn't in the Bible, we finna get it out of the Bible. The book of Ecclesiasticus, which is Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 20. When thou hast gotten a fruitful possession through all the field, sow it with thine own seed, trusting in the goodness of thy stock. So thy race, which thou leavest, shall be magnified, having the confidence of their good descent. So thy race, so anybody who say race isn't in the Bible, it's in the book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 21. Thy race is your nation of people. And God is telling us to trust in our own stock. When thou hast gotten a fruitful possession, that's a woman from your own people, through all the field, sow it with thine own seed, trusting in the goodness of thy stock. If you're an Israelite, you should trust in the goodness of your stock, that it's going to bring forth good fruit. But that's if you're living by the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. That's who it's talking to. If you're not bearing good fruit, if you're not living right, you're not going to bear good fruit. Them children going to come out how you act. But if you living right, if you living according to the Most High God, he said, trust in thine own stock. A lot of brothers don't trust their own stock. They go get anything and have a baby with them. Anything. Heathen, Edomite, hood rat, anything, just to lay with them. That's not trusting in your own stock. I varied off course for a minute, but let's get back on it. Let's go to Psalms chapter 118. Salaki. Psalms chapter 118, verse 23 and 24. I put that in there wrong. Salakia. Psalms chapter 118, verse 23 and 24. Let's see. All right. The Lord, Salakia, this is the Lord's doing. It is marvelous in our eyes. This is the day which the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is talking about every day, man. You should be grateful and thankful every day to see another day, not just the day of your birth. Every day you should be thankful to feel the sun. That's why I'm outside doing this class, so I can feel the sun, even though it's making me sweat, because I'm thankful for every day. It's not just your birthday. People glorifying one day, but they don't take the time to do any of the high holy days of the Most High God to glorify Him. That's what those days are for, to glorify Him. Why do we glorifying ourselves on a birthday? That's nothing to glorify. And we're going to go into that too. It's really nothing to glorify. Yeah, we happy to be born. Yeah, we happy to be here. But it's a reason why we trapped in these bodies. It's a reason why we at the bottom. It's a reason why we oppressed. So that's not fun. But it's a reason for it. And we're going to get that. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 9, verse 9 through 12. Because, like I said earlier, while we're here, we're supposed to be doing something. It's obtaining wisdom of the Most High God, the knowledge of the Most High God, and unifying with our people. If you're not here if you're here and you're not getting wisdom of the Most High God, not the wisdom of this world, but wisdom of the Most High God, then what are you doing? Because you're gonna die. What you gonna take with you? When you have death, what are you gonna take with you? That's the whole thing about it, man. You can't take none of these worldly things with you. You can't take no money with you. You can't take no women with you. You can't take none of this stuff for the world. But what can you take with you? Knowing that you've been obedient to the Most High God and the knowledge of the Most High God. So the book of Proverbs, chapter 9, verse 9 says, give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. For by me thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased. If thou be wise, thou shalt be wise for thyself. But if thou scorneth, thou alone shalt bear it. So if you want to have lengthened days on this earth, because a lot of people love life. So if you want to lengthen your days here on this earth, the Most High told us to be wise. Be wise for ourselves. How do we do that? What's the beginning of wisdom? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So if we fear Him, we come back to being obedient to Him. And the knowledge of the holy is understanding. If we do what He told us to do, the knowledge of the holy is the law, statutes, and commandments. Then we have an understanding of what our purpose is here, what we're supposed to be doing, who our people are, who is our God, because we listening to Him. We listen to what He set forth for us. So the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. We should be here obtaining wisdom so that we can get closer to the Most High God and that we can get into the kingdom. That's what it's all about in the end, getting into the kingdom. Let's go to Proverbs 3 and 13. So if you want to lengthen your days here on the earth, which who really want to, other than for the fact that you have children, grandchildren, family, and things of that nature, that's the only reason why. Because outside of that, this world hates us, man. We would rather be back with the Most High. But we know that time is coming. Ain't no sense of rushing. The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 13. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. Verse 14. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. So he said, happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. That is better than merchandise of silver and of gold. Verse 15. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Verse 16, length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. So he's telling us, obtain wisdom, because you're going to know how to move on this earth if you got the wisdom of the Most High God. That's what he's teaching us, how to deal with people on this earth in different scenarios and how to deal with him. So if you want to lengthen your days, get wisdom. What's wisdom? That's the knowledge of the Most High God, the law, statutes, and commandments. And when you get that, you get of understanding and you get riches and honor. Just like King David. The knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's what he prayed for, man. The wisest man ever been on this planet. King Solomon. King Solomon. So yeah, man. You want to lengthen your days while serving the Most High God. Get wiser. And you should be getting wiser anyway with age. I don't understand how brothers getting older, but they not getting wiser. Go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2 and 3. Y'all should know this, because this ain't just pertaining to Christmas. This is pertaining to all aspects of heathen paganism. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, I'm going to start at 1. Hear ye the words which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel, talking to us. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathens are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. One cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe. We know what that's talking about. But the customs of the people are vain. That's Christmas, that's Halloween, that's birthdays, that's New Year's. The customs of the heathens are vain. We are not to do that. He told us, be not dismayed at the signs of the heavens. Learn not the way of the heathens. We are not to do that, man. And it's clear as day that birthday celebrations is the way of the heathens. And we're going to pull that out the scriptures too. We didn't do that. We don't have to, whatever you do privately between you and the Most High, is your business. But the whole thing is you should be giving thanks to the Most High, period. You should, ain't no that's self-worship when you have a birthday party. When you pinning money on yourself. When you getting a birthday cake. It's all about you. Where is the Most High at in this? You didn't make yourself breathe. You didn't bring yourself to life. You didn't give yourself birth. So you should be giving all praises to the Most High God rather than sitting up here celebrating yourself. Because what's most likely is all the people who have birthday parties do not do any of the high holy days. Do not give the Most High any praise, any glory, because they don't know of their God. But you know that birthday celebrations is pagan. All you got to do is look that up. You can Google that. So the customs of the people are vain, man. You're doing it in vain. Let's go to 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 2. Show you something. Second Timothy chapter 3 and verse 2. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, and unholy, without natural affliction, truce breakers, false accusers, incontents, fierce, despisers of those that are good. And we can keep going. But the part that I wanted was, for men shall be lovers of their own selves. Verse 1. I'm going to start at verse 1. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. Men shall be lovers of their own selves. When you're doing a birthday party, a birthday celebration, you're being a lover of your own self. Where is the Most High at in that? And let me get this right here. On my YouTube page, I'm pulling up birthdays, but I just read it off. I'm going to use our old friends, the Jehovah's Witnesses. I went to their page because they got it up. Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't rock with them like that. I'm just using the information which they already put up. Birthday definition: the day of one's birth or the anniversary of that day. In some places, the anniversaries of one's birth, especially that of a child, is celebrated with a party and giving of gifts. Not a biblical practice. Even they know it's not a biblical practice. It's not something that if it was a biblical practice, it'd be in our laws of something that we're supposed to do. But it's not. So let me get this right here. What is the origins of popular customs associated with birthday celebrations? Oh my goodness, I forgot to change that. Bear with me, people. All right. What is the origins of popular customs associated with birthday celebrations? Shalom, shalom, out. The various customs with which people today celebrate their birthdays have a long history. Their origins lie in the realm of magic and religion. The customs of offering congratulations, presenting gifts, and celebrating complete the lighted candles in ancient times were meant to protect the birthday celebrant from the demons and to ensure his security for the coming year. Down to the 4th century, I don't care about that. The Greeks believed that everyone had a protective spirit or demon who attended his birth and watched over him. See, these people are demonic, man. The Greeks believed you had a protective spirit or demon. This spirit had a mystic relation with the god on whose birthday the individual was born. The Romans also subscribed to this idea because they all copycats anyway. They probably got it from the Egyptians. This notion was carried down in human belief and it was reflected in the guardian angel. See, the guardian angel stuff is straight garbage. The fairy godmother and the patron saint. The custom of lighted candles on the cake started with the Greeks. Honey cakes round as the moon and lit with tapers were placed on the temple altars of Artemis. Birthday candles, in folk belief, are endowed with special magic for granting wishes. See, that's why they put the candle on there, light it, and say, make a wish. Lighted tapers and sacrificial fires have had a special mystic significance ever since man set up altars of his gods. The birthday candles are thus an honor and tribute to the birthday child and bring good fortune. Birthday greetings and wishes for happiness are an intrinsic part of this holiday. Originally, the idea was rooted in magic. Birthday greetings have power for good or ill because one is closer to the spirit world on this day. See what we're dealing with, man? Our people just pick this stuff up and just go run with it. Don't even know nothing about it because you want to self worship. Go away from your God to do something that the pagans do, the heathens do. He told us, don't do as the heathens do. So let's go to Genesis. Let's show you that this is, well, we just read it there, but let's show you out the Bible that it's a heathen custom. Or let's see what the heathens did on their birthdays to us, or to people, period. They sick, man. So this is a Pharaoh, the book of Genesis, chapter 40, verse 18. And Joseph answered and said, this is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee. And it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants. And he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants. And he restored the chief butler unto his butlership again. And he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And, Salakia, but he hanged the chief baker as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him. So this is showing you on the Pharaoh's birthday, he killed people. He killed people. He hanged the chief baker on his birthday. This is sick stuff, man. We do not partake in birthday celebrations because of stuff like this. Birthday wishes and things like that. First of all, you can't make no wish. You can't make no wish. All you can do is pray to the Most High God. Wishes, that's false, man. Let's get another heathen. Let's go to the book of Matthew. Ooh, I'm glad that the cloud cover came because it sure cooled it down. That sun was working on me. Chapter 6, verse 11. Matthew's chapter 14, verse 6 through 11. Let's see what Herod did. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before him and pleased Herod, whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she asked. And she, being before instructed of her mother, said, Give me here John Baptist's head in a charger. And the king was sorry. Nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him at meat, he commanded it to be given her. And he sent and beheaded John in prison. And his head was brought into a charger and given to the damsel, and she brought it to her mother. So we can go into that whole thing, but I just wanted to show you that on Herod's birthday, that he beheaded John the Baptist. He beheaded it for the girl. Her mother wanted her to tell him to do it because she wanted to do it, but she couldn't do it. And you can read that thing through Matthew's chapter 14, and also the precept is Mark chapter 6, 20 through 28. But I just wanted to show on another heathen's birthday that they killed somebody. I got another one for you. Let's go to the book of Maccabees, Second Maccabees. Second Maccabees in the Apocrypha. If you don't have one, you need to get one. Second Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 6 through 9. What about those sororities? That's Greek. Here's the Greek were really pagan driving people. Watch this. This from the Greeks too. Well, somewhat. Ptolemy, yeah, he was a Greek. Let's see what he did to us on his birthday. The book of Sirach. That's what I want. Maccabees chapter 6, verse 6. Oh, up to 26. Salaki, bear with me. Now he gave me 26. I didn't want that. All right. The book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 6. I'm going to start at 5. I really need to start up higher than that. Let's start at 3. The book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 3. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places. And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. The altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days or ancient fasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. And in a day of the king's birth, every month, they were brought by bitter constraints to eat of the sacrifices. And when the fast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying ivy. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices. And whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery. So this is Ptolemy. He put out a decree that if anybody kept the Sabbath days, the ancient feasts, or professed himself to be a Jew, you will be put to death. In the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraints to eat of the sacrifice. And when the feast of Bacchus, which is what they're doing with the Mardi Gras, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying ivy. They do that willfully now at the Mardi Gras. But on the king's birth, we were brought in bitter constraints to eat of the sacrifice. They made us go against our God. It's crazy, man. But our people willfully do the things that they was forcing us to do back in the day. That's why this information has to be brought out so that we can understand that the things that we were doing, we were taught by our enemies. We have to come back to our God and what He told us to do. I'll give you an example of a Israelite, well, Israelites doing this thing. Let's go to Job chapter 1, verse 4 and 5. And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day. That's the clue right there. Every one his day. So on their birthdays, his day, because that's what you're doing on your birthday. It's your day. So his sons went and feasted in their houses, everyone his day, and sent and called for their three sisters to eat and to drink with them. It's not a problem on eating and drinking and feasting. We can do that. But when you making it your thing, when you worshiping yourself, that's where it's a problem at. That's what these heathens believe in. Do thy will. That's Satanism, man. Verse 5. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. So if they wasn't doing wrong by uh, uh, having his own day, if they wasn't doing wrong by it, then why would Job go try to sanctify them? He rose up early in the morning, offered burnt offerings according to the number of all of them. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned. So they were just feasting. They was eating and drinking. What's wrong with that? Oh, it was on their own day. They made it their own thing. Job is telling you, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. Thus did Job continually. So that's an indication right there that we should not be doing it like that, man. It's not that you shouldn't be thankful to the Most High God, but you should be giving all praises to the Most High God for allowing you to see another year, not worshiping yourself. So that's Job's children. They got killed for that. They wasn't worshiping the Most High God. They didn't say they was feasting and drinking for the Most High God. They was doing it for their own day. Okay. Second Timothy. I'm gonna run that Second Timothy's back again. Second Timothy's 3:2. Just to show you, they sinned against the Most High God, and they sinned. Second Timothy chapter 3 verse 2. For men shall be lovers of them own selves. You can't be a lover of your own self. You can't be a lover of your own self. You got to be a lover of the Most High God. For this is the love of God, that we keep His commandments. That's what we should be focusing on. This world teach us to focus on us. It's all about you. That's selfish, man. Where is the time for the Most High God? Where is the time that you're going to learn how to worship Him correctly? Get the knowledge of the Most High God correctly, not just feel it in your heart. We got to do thus saith the Lord. And that's what this time is here for. Everybody want to talk about grace. That's what this time is for. Grace. But let's see what grace really is. Because in this time of grace, it's something that you're supposed to be doing. If you didn't know, write this down. The book of Titus, chapter 2, verse 11 and 12. This is grace. For the grace of God that bringeth salvation. We trying to be saved, right? Most High God bringeth salvation, has appeared to all men, teaching us that denying ungodliness, that's things that go against God. What's things that go against God? If you break His commandments, world and worldly lusts, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world. Let's get righteously. Let's see what righteously means, because that's significant. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 25. We trying to live righteously, right? Then we should know how to go about living righteously. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God as he commanded us. So we will be right with the Most High God if we keep his commandments. That's what righteousness is, being right with the Most High God. So we have to keep his commandments to do that. You can't go about establishing your own righteousness. And that's what our problem is now. I'm going to veer off here for a minute, but I'm going to go to Romans 10 and 1. Because that's the problem with our people. We're going about establishing our own righteousness. Let's see what Brother Paul said. The book of Romans, chapter 10 and verse 1. Brethren, my heart's brethren, not everybody, brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved. So he wasn't talking to everybody. His heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that Israel might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God. Our people have a zeal of God. They go to church on Sunday. They do Easter. They do Christmas. They thinking they doing the right thing. You got a zeal for a God, but not the God of Israel. But not according to knowledge. Not according to the knowledge of the Most High God. You don't have a zeal. You have a zeal for Christianity if you're doing those things. Verse 3, for they being ignorant of God's righteousness, and that's the key. Our people in church, they're ignorant of God's righteousness. They totally up on the righteousness of the white man, Christianity and white Jesus, but they're ignorant of the God of Israel's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness and not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God. That is the problem right there. If they submit themselves, if we submit ourselves unto the righteousness of the Most High God, then we would be good. Because we'll start keeping his feast days. We'll start keeping the Sabbaths and the new moons and coming together like we're supposed to. Huh? So let's go to Psalms 90, 12 through 16. The book of Psalms, chapter 90, verse 12. So teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. Teach us to number our days, that we may apply our heart unto wisdom. That's what we should be doing, applying our hearts unto wisdom. And like we brought out before, that wisdom is the knowledge of the Most High God, and that knowledge is the law, statutes, and commandments. And those are the ways that we be obedient to him. You know what I'm saying? We got to be obedient to the Most High God. Return, O Lord, how long? And let it repent thee concerning thy servants. O satisfy us early with thy mercy, that we may rejoice and be glad all our days. Make us glad according to the days wherein thou hast afflicted us, and the years wherein we have seen evil. See, that's the part that's not good about being here. Because since our people sin against the Most High God, we have to get afflicted. We have to be oppressed. We have to. He got to teach us a lesson. But I tell you this, we should be thankful that we wasn't. Well, we don't remember, or we haven't been in chattel slavery. But I think the Most High God, I didn't have to go through that. We got our struggles here, but it ain't nowhere near how it used to be. Now imagine if you was born at that time. See, that's that affliction, man. That's that real affliction. That's when you really cursed to be born because you going through. That's the part where it's like it's better the day of your birth. I mean, it's better the day of your death. Death is better than Salaki. I'm messing up. I'm just gonna get the scripture, but it's better that we go see the Most High again than to be born in affliction. That's what we're getting at. It's better to be with the Most High than to be here being tormented, than to watch our brothers and sisters be murdered senselessly. But it's even better than not to been born in chattel slavery, man. getting the whips put on our backs. We should thank the Most High for that. We just 2-3 generations removed from slavery as it is. Some of our great-great-grandparents was in slavery. Our people forget that. We're not that far removed from it. It ain't that far from going back at the rate that we going. And a lot of our people are in slavery still. Penitentiary system. Throughout the world. They still enslaving us. It's just not on the same level. But our people still in slavery, man. Debt. That's slavery. We don't own our own lands, our own water, our own factories. We still in slavery up under somebody else. So teach us to number our days that we may apply our hearts to wisdom. That's what we should be learning here. That's what grace is for. You can spend your time here and keep doing foolishness, or you can try to learn the wisdom that you should know the reason why you're here, fulfilling your purpose. So let's go to Ecclesiastes. Chapter 3, verse 1. So everybody wouldn't just be worried about your birthday. See what the Bible says, the scripture says. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Verse 2. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. So just as much as you concerned about your birthday, you should be concerned about the day of your death. What kind of situation am I going to be in with the Most High? Am I going to be in good graces with him? See, we got people worried about the coming when you should be worried about it's most likely that you're going to perish before that happens. So I'm more concerned about the day that I perish, so that when I go into judgment, am I going to be right with the Most High God? Have I made up for the sins that I did? Have I put my brick in enough that I can get the penny into the kingdom? That's what I'm concerned about. It's a time to be born. That done happened already. So you should be worried about the time to die. That's what grace is for. Everybody worrying about when the skies get cracked. Don't worry about that. You can drop dead from something else first. So that's what we should be. That's the day of one's death. Let me get that. Ecclesiastes chapter 7. Chapter 7 and verse 1. The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 1. A good name is better than precious ointment, and a day of death than a day of one's birth. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. For that is the end of all man, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance of the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of the fools is in the house of mirth. Because the wise know that we are not here to have fun, that we are not here. We're here to get right. That's what the wise know. The wise know that this is not a time to be playing games, because the wise know what's happening to our people. I can drop down to verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroys the heart. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And the patient in the spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Patient in spirit is better than proud in spirit. So, because the wise know that we are being oppressed, the wise know that if we get right, we can go back to we can get the kingdom back. That's what the wise know. So it makes our hearts heavy. We're in mourning. We're in mourning for our people. We're in mourning because our people get killed in the streets. Our people killing each other. We're in mourning for that. That's what the wise is. A fool is here having fun, living life, loving the world, not concerned about the end of things. It says, better is the end of things than the beginning thereof. That's what you should be getting ready for. That's what you should be getting ready for. All right? Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 20. The son that came back, 14 and 18. Let's see what the brother Jeremiah said. And the girls worried about their birthday, they better worry about where they're going after they die. That's what I'm talking about, man. I'm trying to get into the king. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 20 and verse 14. Cursed be the day wherein I was born. Let not the day wherein my mother bare me be blessed. Cursed be the man who brought tidings to my father, saying, a child is born unto thee, making him very glad. And let that man be as the cities which the Lord overthrew, and repented not. And let him hear the cry in the morning, and a shouting at noontime. Because he slew me not from the womb, or that my mother might have been my grave, and her womb to be always great with me. Wherefore came I forth out of the womb to see labor and sorrow. That's why he was said, cursed be the day that it was born. Because if you come into this world and you face to see labor and sorrow, slavery, you gonna say cursed be the day you was born too. See, fortunately, a lot of us ain't got to go through that or haven't went through that. So we take it as a light thing. Oh, I'm gonna go to the club. I'm gonna live life. I'm doing me. Now you need to be doing the Most High and be thankful that you was born in a better time period than a lot of our other people. And it ain't over yet. So brother Jeremiah said, "Cursed be the day he was born, because of you born into labor and sorrow." What's labor and sorrow? Slavery. Oh, y'all got to excuse me. It's all types of stuff flying at me right now. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to Revelations chapter 14. You gotta come into the world for labor and sorrow. Or you gonna be like, cursed be the day of my birth. But there's a lot of people born that's not in sorrow. So they loving this world to death. Let's see if this is what I want. Let's go to Revelation chapter 14 and verse 13. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. So, blessed are the dead. So if you die doing the Lord's work, blessed are you. That's how you want to leave this place, man. You don't want to leave this place like little Ray Ray and got shot because you was selling dope. You want to leave this place doing the work of the Most High God, like all the other prophets and saints. That's how you want to leave this place. You want to try to get that white robe, man. Yeah, once you was young and dumb, but then you grow up, then you be reborn, and you come back to your God. Because I want to die one of the blessed, doing the Lord's work. And if you believe in the Most High God, you should want to do the same thing. He say, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. Your works gonna follow you. Everything that you do gonna follow you. Your works is that's what we doing right now. We're trying to get our works together. Let's go back to Ecclesiastes. It made me remember this. Ecclesiastes 12. Let's go 12 and 14. Ecclesiastes chapter 12. I didn't give it to me. Hold on. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 14. Ah, must be spelling that wrong. E, C, C. Ecclesiastes 12:13. Try this again. All right. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. Every work. That's the only thing you're going to take back with you, your works, whether it be good or whether it be evil. Were you formed, were you wicked from the womb? Or you one of God's sons from the womb? That's the determining factor. What are your works going to be? That's what the grace is for. Get our stuff together so we can start doing the work, so we can clear up the sins that we did. Get that blood off our hands. Because God gonna bring every work into judgment. That's what we should be concerned about. That's what we should be concerned about. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 7. Because after you die, your spirit got to go somewhere. That's energy. Energy does not go away. This flesh goes back into the ground where it came from. But the energy that's in us, that's keeping us going, that goes somewhere else. Let's see. The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was. Talking about your flesh. And the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. So this spirit we leasing the spirit. He gave this to us. We leasing it with these bodies. It's going to return back to the Most High God. He's going to judge that spirit on his works. That's what we should be concerned about, man. All this other stuff is of nothing. We only going to be here for a short time to get this right. That's what I'm concerned about. Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and 8. Ecclesiastes is deep, man. The spirit is going to return back to the Most High who gave it. I think that's the more pressing issue than anything else. The spirit. I'm telling you, that flesh profits you nothing. That flesh profit nothing. It's going to go back into the earth. This thing does not want to give me Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 8. All right. Book of Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 8. There is no man that has power over the spirit to retain the spirit. Ooh, that's powerful right there. There is no man that has power over the spirit to retain the spirit. Neither has he power in the day of death. You ain't seen nobody who had control over it when they was dying. Nobody. That's when you lose control. It's out your hands. And there is no discharge in that war. Neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given to it. You fall into wickedness ain't gonna give you back. That's why it's best to walk on this side of the line with the Most High God. But what I wanted out of that is no man has power over the spirit to retain the spirit. All you can do is get your spirit right. Neither has he power in the day of death. You have no power, man. We have no power. The Most High has all the power. So we need to trust in him that the blueprint that he set forth for us to do to get back to him works. Because outside of that, what else do we have? Nothing. We know we was given Christianity. That's going to lead you straight to being your candle put out. I'm going to trust in the Lord with all my heart and all my soul. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 9, verse 27. And as it is appointed unto men once to die, But after this, the judgment. We only appointed one death. After that is judgment. So why I don't understand how people more concerned about the day of their birth. You 45 years old. You were born 45 years ago. That's over with. You closer to dead than you are to being reborn. Unless you're talking about being reborn through the scriptures. Yeah, that's when your life really started. When you find out who you are and start coming back to your God. As it is pointed unto man that wants to die. But after this is judgment. That's what I'm concerned about. I'm worried about judgment. And let's get judgment. Because this should be brought out a lot more too. Especially in these Christian churches. They always talking about you gonna burn in hell. You gonna burn in hell. You don't even know what hell is. I don't even know what hell is. I was at a funeral one time. I wanted to burn the scripture out. And I was showing him respect. Because the pastor was talking about this and he got it all wrong. So let's see what the scriptures say. The book of Revelations, chapter 20 and verse 11. And I saw a great white throne, and he that sat on it, from whose face the earth and heavens fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, great and small, small and great, stand before God, and the books that were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. So that's judgment. You got a book of life. You got the book of the law. He's gonna compare those things. And then he gonna judge you on it. Was you right with the law? Was you not right with the law? That's what this whole thing is about, man. Gotta keep the law. But what do the judge you on when you go to court? Keep the law. Did you keep the law? So, want to leave you with that. The day of thy birth, name of the class. But the objective is to be worried about judgment, trying to get into the kingdom. I'm going to leave you with that last one, how to get into the kingdom. Book of Revelation. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 22 and verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. That's what we're trying to do, man. Enter into the gates into the city. Enter in through the gates into the city. That's what I want to do. That's why I'm doing this for the Most High and trying to spread this word, because that's what our people need, man. I'll leave you with this last one for anybody who don't know how many gates it is into the kingdom and whose name is on it. The book of Revelations, chapter 21 and verse 12. And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and the names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. So we try to get into them gates, man. The children of Israel. 12 tribes of the children of Israel. The kingdom is for us. So let's come back to our God. Let's come back to doing what he told us to do. Let's not do what these heathens are doing. That's what we got to turn back from. And with that, I say shalom. I say all praise to the Most High God of Israel. Kwam Yasharala. Shabbat shalom, family.